Hello, hello. I'm seeing lots of names I know. Oh, let's see here. Okay. Yes, they are new glasses. I really like these ones. Dandy-ish, which I enjoy. Now we're gonna see. This is our test to see how lives with more than one person. There's Ainsley.
Hello.
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 It worked.
It works. What internet magic?
Amazing. Well, hello, internet friends, SewQueer community, Ainsley, my lovely organizer extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Um, so let's give it another minute or two just to see as people join, and then we're gonna kind of just say hi and dive into things. But I hope everyone's doing well on this Sunday afternoon where I am, other times on Sunday where you might be.
Sunday morning we're here.
Yeah. I'm wearing my new Big Dyke Energy sweatshirt,
Gosh, that's
which
fantastic.
I'm obsessed with. It's from Outtire, and I love it so much.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's
I
really
got it and thought I wasn't going to be able to wear it because it was like very hot when it came. And then we've got like a cold snap and it's like 60 degrees in my house right now. So, well, time to get cozy.
Yep.
Yep.
Today is my first day of shorts weather over here, which I'm
Ooh.
very excited about, especially because they were once jeans and I like last week was like, I need a pair of shorts. I need it so bad, and just was like, great, we're gonna cut these and hem them. Done.
Oh,
Wonderful.
yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get started. Hello, SewQueer community. I'm so happy to see you all here. This is our sort of first test live um, in honor of the impending blog launch on June 1st. We're really excited about this project. This has been, um, well, months in the actual making, years in the conception. And I think it's going to be a really wonderful addition to the SewQueer community. And really, our hope is it will be a really useful resource to the queer and trans sewing community writ large. And we'll have a lot more details about the blog and what it's going to hold, and some wonderful blog posts coming up this month for you to read over the next month. So I'm really so excited about that. So in honor of the blog launch, we wanted to come on here and introduce ourselves, the team behind the blog. Hello, I am Shannon. I go by Rare Device on Instagram. And if you don't know me or know my face already, I am the founder of SewQueer. And up until pretty recently, the one person behind everything that happens on SewQueer. And still right now, kind of the person who you're talking to when you DM the Instagram, the person who's doing all the reposting. So that's my voice that you are hearing when you when you see that. Um, I've been sewing for seriously for probably about 9 years now. Gosh, yeah, about 9 years now. But I learned when I was little, and when I picked it back up as an adult, it was very clear to me that a lot of the reason I wanted to do it was around kind of identity and self-fashioning, what it looked like to be a queer person in the world. So being able to kind of build a community that's asking those questions has been really like wonderful and important and really beautiful. Um, and I'm in Indiana now. I'm an art historian, so I have a professorial position in Indiana that I really love, and that also sort of like co-feeds the two projects. My academic life and my sewing life are very much intertwined. Um, so I started SewQueer about 3.5 years ago, and for 3 years I was kind of the one person behind it, really. And in January, Ainsley reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you need any help?" And I was like, Oh yeah, I really do actually. So um, I brought Ainsley on board, and then more recently, Bree and Lizzy, who you'll hopefully meet in a bit if our technology works just the way we want it to.
Mhm.
Um, and as a team, we've been working together to get this blog launch going. So Ainsley, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, I'm Ainsley. My pronouns are they, them. I am in the Bay Area in California. In my life as a human who works in the world, sure, let's go with that. I don't have to say my job. We'll leave that over there. I do operations at a local Pride Center. And so when I reached out to Shannon, I was like, hi, I like spreadsheets and making things happen. I used to be an event and wedding planner. So, like, if you need to get shit done, like, I can help you do that. Um, and now here we are with the blog launching this week. And it's so exciting. And I can't wait to read everyone's stories and like learn stuff because from all of the SewQueer community, because I have been sewing like seriously in the past like 2 years. I similarly learned to sew when I was pretty young. My mom had a sewing machine that was like, built into a little table and was like so heavy. And I was like, I never want to touch this. Um, this weekend, I'm going through my mom's garage and actually found fabric that we bought at like Joann's years ago to make me this like tie-dye blue, like velvety stretch kind of shirt. And I was like, dear God, what is this? Who was I? Also, I love it. What do we do with this
I was
now?
just gonna say that feels very like 2021 queer
Oh,
fashion.
it
So
does. It does. And also, it's like, oh, just it's so good. It's like I learned how to sew a long time ago, but then, um, I mean, I'm someone who does a lot of different crafts, and so got into like knitting, crocheting, hot gluing googly eyes onto stuff, putting glitter everywhere. So it was only a few years ago when I got working in the wedding industry and had to start wearing like fancy clothing to work because I'm literally working at someone's wedding, that I was like, oh, I hate everything that the stores offer because coming into my non-binary identity and like there's like what do I wear to a wedding? I don't know. Like there's no answer for that. And I was like, okay, fuck it. I need to make my own clothes because if I find something that fits my like small fat body, then like it doesn't fit my gender identity. And I literally put a post into a like queer group and was like, hey, I want to make a shirt, but I'm a Virgo and I have to do everything perfectly the first time around. So can anyone out there help me? Because if I can't do it perfectly, I'm not going to do it at all. Uh, and someone responded, and it was beautiful. And then I started making more friends, and we like helped do a measuring booth on behalf of SewQueer at Queer Fashion Show in New York because I was living there previously, and so it feels like this like beautiful full circle to be working Shannon with you and Bree and Lizzy on like the behind the scenes stuff making this blog happen. So that's a very long winded answer of who I am.
no, that's beautiful. I think that one of the things that's been so exciting is that when you reached out, and then when Brie and Lizzy both reached out too, is that we all have different skill sets that really complement one another.
100.
Um, and like Ainsley, when you were like, I like to make spreadsheets, I was like, I hate making spreadsheets. Please do it for me. So
And I was like, and I will color code them rainbow because
yes,
obviously
everything's rainbow color coded, of course.
everything needs to be. It's fine.
I love
Yeah.
it. Um, can I ask, is there something that you are really looking forward to or hoping you will be able to learn from the SewQueer blog?
Oh my gosh. I'm really excited for when we talk about underwear, because that is my next adventure. I know I've mentioned this to you, Shannon. I've never sewn with like knitted fabric before. I've like really just learned most of my sewing skills from being like, can I try that? Sure, why not? And so a lot of it is very kind of like not professional, maybe not the right way to do things, but it all works fine. So that's what I'm excited for because again, like underwear is something that I have trouble finding that I like it. And I know a lot of y'all out there are making some bomb undies, and I can't wait to learn from all of you. Also, someone wants to write about plackets, and that is something that I have literally never made because I refuse to. So I should probably learn how to do that. But more so than like the technical skills, I really love personal narratives. And I'm really excited to learn from so many different folks about like what sewing means to you, and to like, I don't know, just like feel even more connected to all of the people across the world who are queer and sewing and creating things in a world that like doesn't make space for us.
Yeah, I so agree with you on that. I think that one of the reasons why I didn't just post on my own blog, but actually ended up making an Instagram for SewQueer was that I wanted space for like those kinds of discussions about what sewing can do to help us fashion ourselves in the world and kind of present ourselves in ways that the world doesn't really make space for as it stands. So having a space where we can do that in kind of a more long form way feels
Mm-hmm.
really cool and is going to be beautiful. I'm really
It'd be
excited.
so cool.
Yeah. Also, I'm excited to get you converted to plackets because I love doing plackets. They're my favorite. So we'll get you there.
We'll get there. It's a slow start. They just seem so fiddly, and I'm just like, oh, I can't be bothered.
They are fiddly. This is true.
Yeah. I mean, since the person who like my first like endeavor into like sewing garments, I was like, yeah, I'll make a button-up shirt. Yeah, why not? And
Yeah.
everyone's like, what are you doing? And I was like, yeah, no, I can do this. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. It was.
I mean, I'm like fully in favor of like starting out without a fear of what you don't know
Mm-hmm.
because like if you don't know that you don't know it, then like you'll just do it and it'll be
Exactly.
fine. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think I told this too. It was a long sleeve button up, and I just still in my closet right now. I rolled up the sleeves. I was like, that's done. There was no finish on those sleeves. I literally just rolled them up. Didn't even stitch them to like stay rolled up. I was like, now that's good. That was my first one. The other ones are looking better.
You
Yeah,
know, we make it work for ourselves.
we sure do.
For our
We sure
lives.
do.
Uh, Lovely. Well, Ainsley, thank you so much for joining it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your like work and generosity and care as well.
Thank you.
Um, yeah,
Hey,
and I will let you go continue to clean out your mom's garage, which is what
such
you're
a
doing.
fun endeavor. Thank you for having me. Hello to everyone there. I'm going to try to figure out how to leave this as gracefully as possible, but it will probably not be very graceful at all. I don't know what button to push, but I'm going to go with the big X in the corner, and I hope that works. Um,
Excellent.
this was lovely. I will talk to you soon. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, as I said, this is very much technical trial and error for us. So let me see if I can't get, whoops, Lizzy in here next, maybe. Lizzy, there you
Hi.
are. Hello. Oh my gosh, it worked.
Woo! Okay, let me
Okay.
adjust the angle of this. Oh, oh no, that just scooted it back. Okay, we're good. All right.
Well, welcome, Lizzy. I'm so excited to have you here. Also, I don't think that I commented on your earrings when we were meeting earlier, but they're
Thank
beautiful.
you. These are the first earrings I have bought in years. They're from Earth Fragments.
Ooh, I'll look that up.
Yeah.
Also, are you wearing a Zadie jumpsuit?
I am absolutely wearing a Zadie jumpsuit. I have three, four now. It's jumpsuit season. Ainsley was saying that they're into short season now, but
Yeah,
jumpsuit season.
jumpsuit season. I feel you. Excellent. Well, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, SewQueer community. I'm Lizzy. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm Lizzy underscore keeps underscore busy on Instagram. Um, in my real life, I don't know, everything on the internet is real in a way. Um, I am a lecturer in Latin in the Bay Area. I'm also in the Bay Area with Ainsley. Um, Fun fact, we used to go to like it was kind of like the scouts except it was co-ed. every single person I'm still in touch with from that turned out to be queer.
Amazing how that works. Like
Um,
baby Queen Scouts.
Absolutely.
I love that.
um, yeah. So I'm going to be doing some of the copy editing on the blog. That's sort of my background as well as being in academia. I copy edited a journal for a while. So I'm very nitty gritty, look at all the spelling and punctuation marks.
Such a necessary skill. So we're so thankful to have you on board to do that nitty gritty, eagle-eyed editing. So, do you want to tell us how you got into sewing?
Yeah, sure. So I learned a little bit when I was a kid, but didn't really pay attention. We have like, I think there's a bag somewhere that I sewed that had applique butterflies on it that were mostly not stuck on or sewed down at all. But I really got into it about 6 or 7 years ago now. I was in recovery from an eating disorder, and none of my clothes fit anymore. And I'd also just realized I was queer and had no idea how that affected my style. Um, and so I got a hand me down sewing machine from my mom and started making things. There's a lot of things that I made that just were not my style and did not fit. But I learned from everything, and slowly I've gotten more and more confident in what I actually want to wear, what makes me feel like myself. Um, but it's still a journey, and I'm really excited to read about everybody's journeys to finding things that make them feel like themselves and what that means on a day-to-day basis even. um,
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the description of it as a journey too, because I think one of the things that feels really vital to me is thinking about like both our identities as not static, as something that we're kind of continuing to learn about. We're learning about ourselves and how we understand ourselves. And our style is not static as we change and adapt what we like. But also for the blog to be a place where we really talk about like sewing for changing bodies and like change in a way that isn't often talked about or supported in kind of the broader community. So like what it means to inhabit a fat body, what it means to inhabit a body that has gone through gender affirmation surgery, what it means to inhabit like an aging body, a disabled body, like, and to be able to really incorporate that into how we're discussing this kind of journey of finding our style.
yeah. um, and I don't think it ever is going to stop because, you know, and well, until we do.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
very excited to read about everybody's journeys, and maybe learn something about my own through reading.
Yeah. And well, I asked Ainsley this, is there something particular you're excited to learn about from the blog?
Um, I think I've already said that I'm very excited about everybody's narratives and like journeys of the intersection between queerness and sewing. But in terms of techniques, um, I think I'm also excited about underwear. Because,
Yes.
yeah, just underwear is so awful. The stuff you can get, unless it's super expensive, and then it's all frilly, and that doesn't float my boat.
Yeah.
Um, there's a question when I'm knitting. Um, this is a pattern by Tammy Gore. It's the Harper's Ferry shawl. So it's just
Mm,
a bunch of scraps that I'm putting together.
I love that. Amazing. I also, yeah, I think underwear is one of the most kind of requested things that folks want to learn about. And I'm really excited to like hopefully do like a whole breadth of different underwear techniques and tutorials and really get us into what it looks like to make like underwear that's like comfortable and affirming and does what we need it to do and like you know, holds our bodies in the ways we want it to hold our bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want it quite close. So what does that actually look like? Yeah, and also, yeah, I think that like gender affirming underwear in like a whole range of ways is something that a lot of folks want to learn about. So that is going to be very much a focus. And I'm going to put a little shout out to anybody who feels they might have a tutorial in them on an underwear technique to definitely reach out to me because we're always looking for more to kind of flesh out that body of knowledge. Yeah. Anything else you want to share with the community, Lizzy?
I'm really excited to be here. Sewing Instagram and the SewQueer hashtag specifically has really helped me both become a better sewist and more confident and in my identity and in my style. So I'm really excited and thankful for this community.
I'm so glad to have you on board. And I think both you and Ainsley were like very early adopters of the SewQueer hashtag. So like I really love having like both of you involved in this project as folks who were right there at the beginning. So
Yay!
I'm just so thank you so much. So lovely to chat with you here.
Likewise. And now I'm going to figure out how I exit.
Yes. There we go, it worked. Okay, now let's see if I can invite Bree, who I saw in here. There they are. Hello, Bree.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
It works.
It works. I'm gonna try to scoot into the light a little bit more.
Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta find angles.
Yeah. It's 9:30 here, so I've got like I'm like right by the window, soaking in the last light.
I love it. Hello. Do you want to introduce yourself to the group, the community, the people here?
Yes. Hello. I'm Bree. My pronouns in this space are they, them. I am in the world. That's kind of how what our language has been in the world. I am a freelance sewing helper. So I have a couple of clients that are sewing small businesses, fabrics shops, and pattern companies that I help with like project management, marketing, sometimes sample sewing. And I have spent the last 6 months working with the Socialists, which has been amazing. Again, that's like, yeah, so my real world and my sewing world are very much the same. And I live in the Netherlands with my spouse and our 3-year-old daughter. But I'm obviously not from the Netherlands, as you can tell. I'm from the West Coast, so Ainsley and Lizzy, like when they talk about being in the Bay Area, that is close to where I was born, and I'm always like, I want to be there. I want to be there right now, but I'm here, and it's also great.
I love that. And I don't think I put it together that we're all like vaguely West Coast. I grew up in Washington State, so we're all like from that side of the country at least. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, you're bringing such a like beautiful breadth of information and knowledge and organization and care to what we're doing here. And I'm really excited that you're able to do that for other organizations and companies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think they're really going to benefit from having you. So,
yeah. So what I do for SewQueer is I am coordinating our guest contributors. So if you've got a blog post coming, you're probably going to be chatting and interfacing with me about the content and getting everything like in, and then I pass that on to Lizzy, our glorious copy editor, and I'm kind of the in-between person. I'm an over communicator, can you tell?
so useful. We love it. It's amazing. And also, we're so lucky to have you bringing all of your knowledge from Socialists, which has just been such a like really beautiful community. And Jillian has been a like cheerleader and a helper and a fount of knowledge from day one for SewQueer. The first like public announcement of SewQueer that I made was in a post on Socialists as well. So I think that in a lot of ways, I'm really glad that we get to reap the benefits of what they did, both in the world and also by stealing you. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I will 100% be that bridge because I love Jillian so much. And the socialist community that she and Chloe and Anne have created is, so, so beautiful.
Yeah, I really love that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got started sewing and how long you've been sewing?
Yeah. So my sewing journey, my journey with my disability, and my education are all kind of intertwined. So I did not grow up sewing at all, but rather I learned to sew as part of my theater degree that I did not finish. I'm one class away from finishing. It's so sad, but I was in a really terrible car accident right before my last semester, and I did not listen to my body. I did not listen to doctors. I was like, nope, I'm going to finish school because if I don't do it now, what if I never do it? And I was really like very much operating from a lot of trauma and fear. And so I just took my head in, and one of the last classes I did was a costuming course, was my elective. And so I had to learn to sew. And the first thing I made went directly from my hands onto the stage. And it was so stressful and horrible. And I hated every minute. And my brain, like I already have ADHD. And at the time I had a concussion, and like I could not thread the machine. And I would just cry. It was so intense. And I hated it so much. But then the second half of the semester, we were asked to make something for ourselves. And it just like unlocked something in me because of my injury and my disability, or like that it aggravated my disability. I had really lost a lot of creative connection because I couldn't read anymore. I'm better now, but at the time I couldn't read. So theater, my life and music were like off the table. And so I felt very isolated and very alone. And then I was presented with this other form of creativity that I could use my hands, and it was like actively healing my brain. So that was May of 2016. So 5 years this month. And yeah, so it really just took a hold in my life. And as I kept on healing and working into living with a different disability, moving across the world, having a kid, sewing has been the thing that stays with me and helps me move through these big life changes. And the change I'm in now is recognizing my queerness. So I'm the baby queer of the group. So I'm soaking everything up and learning so much because it's super new for me. And I'm so happy to have my sewing practice here with me, supporting me in that.
I love that so much. I I also came back to sewing really as a way of engaging my brain differently, though obviously in kind of like quite different circumstances than you. And I love the way that you talk about like that it could heal your brain because you were using your hands, using this kind of creative method. That's fantastic. And also like if SewQueer can be a place where people realize their queerness through sewing, then I will like have considered at least one of our goals met. So
Yes.
I think we can continue to provide that for folks. And I am like very much because of my teaching, I think, like in a place of being like, am I a queer elder? I don't know if I'm ready to claim that at 34 years old. So
I when that came up in a meeting a couple weeks ago, I was like, in my heart, I was like, "You're my queer elder."
oh, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Because I have learned, like, I think I've been following you at Rare Device. I think probably like for 2 or 3 years, and like it is one of the things that has like slowly, yeah, your content and that of a couple others like has been simultaneously like chipping away at the things that needed to be chipped away at and like building up other confidences. So like before I knew you, like you were in my life and in my heart. Yeah, just with your honesty. So thank you.
That makes me really happy. I'm so glad to have you. And I love the conversations that we get to have just even in our planning meetings about like queerness and queer culture and like all of the things. So I think that's like honestly one of the most fun parts of now having a team is that we like hang out and like chat about the world as well as chat about our like action items we have to get done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I've asked Lizzy and Ainsley this, so it's your turn now. Is there something you're excited to learn from the SewQueer blog?
I mean, like, can I say it's not a formula at all, but like how to be queer. Just admitting like all of my greenness and naivete. But yeah, really I'm so excited to learn more about how others have come into themselves a bit more, and have like tried things on and put things aside or come back to it. So that's what I'm like, yeah, really, really excited about and really invested in. Yeah, stories and identity and yeah.
Yeah, I so feel that. Like the like what are all the different ways we can be queer question is kind of I think part of what's really driving this project is like I don't know. I also feel like I mean, I came into my queerness like a decade ago, but I didn't as a young person because I didn't know that you could be queer. Like
It wasn't a possibility.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like what does it look like to keep like showing people that like you can be and also that like you can be and recognize this at any point in your life. You don't have to have recognized it when you were 12 years old. And
Yeah. Yeah.
like that feels really important too. And as Lizzy and I were chatting, that like it's a journey and your sense of yourself might change over your life, and that's totally
Yeah.
okay. Like,
Yeah, and we don't
you
have to
can
make
be,
any promises and declarations that to like pay for it later if we were wrong or yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Like you can like your words can adapt, your way of understanding yourself can adapt, like
Yes.
the kinds of like way you want to present yourself can change. Like that is I like so support that and so
Yeah.
want to like be able to model that in the space.
Yeah, and I'm like really caught there right now in like, you know, finding freedoms in words and descriptions, and also like finding freedoms in the total mess and the total gray where there are no words, and that both of those are great possibilities. And yeah, I don't owe it to myself, I don't owe it to anyone else, to try to like make a title or make permanent things. Like no, I'm here and I'm being the most honest I can be at this time, and that is enough. That is enough.
Yeah. It's like it's enough and it's also like a real act of care for yourself
Yeah.
to like recognize that and to do that and to like I don't know, I think it's so important to recognize the moments when like the word or the term or the understanding just like clicks and you're like, yes. And also the moments where you're like, this is close, but like I'm gonna hold on to it for now, but like
Yeah.
maybe there's something else that I'll find in the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like you have put it so well so many times, is that you know, the act of creating, the act of working with our wardrobe is so similar, so parallel to the act of making our identity and making ourselves as we move through different periods in our lives. So that has been so like inspiring and like soothing to me. So I'm so excited to be on board with a team that promotes that. It's so beautiful. I'm so excited.
Yay. Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say we're really excited to have you. And like you are doing not just some like important heavy lifting work, which you are doing, but you're also just bringing real care to the team and to what you do. And I so appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to share with the SewQueer world?
Yeah, just that I'm excited. Bring it, guys. Like, I can't wait to talk to all of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And be inspired by you and all of it. So, yeah.
I fully second that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining, and I hope the rest of your evening goes really well.
Thanks. You too. All right. Bye.
All right, so I'll just wrap up here and say look out on Tuesday for the official blog launch. I'm so thrilled to be bringing this to all of you. I'm so thrilled to have a team that has worked so hard to bring this into being when I couldn't do it by myself. And I'm really excited for the words that this community has been crafting and sharing and getting ready to place on this blog. If you are really excited about being part of this, you can pop onto our website and submit a blog idea. All blog contributors are paid. And that does mean, of course, because we're volunteer labor and we have a limited amount of funds, that the number of posts we're going to be able to publish right away are going to be limited. But we're really excited to get more and more and more voices involved. So please send us your ideas, and we are putting everyone on the list to pull from as we create the calendar. So we're really excited to hear more and more ideas. And this live will stay on our Instagram, and our goal is to pull it and get it to a place where we can have either captions or transcripts as well, because Instagram and its accessibility is, I want to say fucked. I was going to say limited, but like it's fucked. So we're going to try and get that accessibility necessity through another platform. And yeah, look forward this week to lots of really exciting things, and so many exciting things all through the month of June. And thank you all for joining us here today. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Questionable at best. Yeah, that's pretty much right. End.